I guess what worries me now is you might say, the state of President Putin's own mentality. I was one of those who was quite certain he would not invade Ukraine. I was also one of the people who, around 2003, said if we were in a war with Iraq in 2004, President Bush would not be reelected. So I'm not a good prognosticator. I do think that politically, a strong reaction was inevitable in the United States when you got the direct invasion. And but I worry that it has gone so far that it is becoming increasingly an attack on the Russian people themselves, denigrating them. And I would say, in addition to all the things that the others have talked about, I think one of the most unfortunate things that has happened has been the personal demonization of Vladimir Putin. And in that regard, our present president, from the time when he was the senior Democrat on the Senate Foreign Relations Committee and voted for NATO expansion, later continued to keep Jackson Vanik in force long after Russia was no longer subject to it. And in 2008, when he started running for president, he said he would stand up to Vladimir Putin. I really don't know what Vladimir Putin had done to him or to the United States at that point. So, and then, of course, particularly in the second half of the Obama administration, where everything is being explained as a reaction to Vladimir Putin. We're going to cost him for what he's doing, etc. I think this is very dangerous. And going back to my experience in the Reagan and the first Bush administrations, one of the basic points in our strategy to end the Cold War was to start dealing with the Russian leaders as individuals, to pay attention to where they're coming from. Ronald Reagan spent much more time trying to understand Gorbachev and where he was coming from than he did studying, throw weights and warheads and the technical aspects of arms control. We have talked a lot about NATO expansion, but it's not just that. Although, of course, assigning American forces to Ukraine, as we've been doing, certainly crossed a red line that anybody would understand. But it was much more than that. Remember that beginning with George W. Bush, we began to pull out of almost every arms control agreement we had. We pulled out of the ABM Treaty, which had been the basis of it. We pulled out later of this of the INF Treaty. We pulled out of open science, which had been an American proposal ever since the Eisenhower administration. And at the same time, we were injecting ourselves directly into Russian politics, and as far as Russia was concerned, even worse, in the domestic politics of the other ex-Soviet republics. So it seems to me that there was an absolute almost effort to denigrate and to insult. First Putin, and then in many cases, the Russian people as a whole. I mean, I was astounded when President Obama was saying something, Russia makes nothing that anybody wants. At that time, the only way we could get to the International Space Station was with Russian rockets. And we were trying our best to keep Iran and Turkey from buying Russian anti-aircraft things. I mean, how can an educated, decent person, as I'm sure Obama is, make statements like that? Well, anyway, I think we have reached a situation which is extraordinarily dangerous. And I'm not sure we are handling it as responsibly as Kennedy and Khrushchev handled it back when I was a junior officer in the American embassy in Moscow and translated some of Khrushchev's messages to Kennedy.